How's it going, guys? This is Venheim. Welcome back. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. So I know that we have a dungeon coming up in like 4 quests or something. I really want to know like what it's gonna be, but I can't. I have to like cover the names. But yeah. So in this episode, we're gonna have 4 quests, and I don't know if they're gonna be super long or super short. So I guess we'll find out. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I have the little Loporrit that I got in the collector's edition that I unboxed, which I'm gonna leave like in the bubble, like right over there. Yeah. So you guys can go watch it. It's pretty nice. I think the best part of the collector's edition is the little Azem stone. It's like super heavy. Yeah, and I pierced my bunny's ear. I didn't give a shit. Anyway, you guys ready? I am so ready, man. I am so ready. URIANGER, before we start, I was very upset about me having to fucking babysit this little bunny, right? And I come off like super pessimistic and like an asshole, but I don't like it. I like them, but I don't like their quest. It's probably the one thing I don't like about Endwalker. Ah shit, here we go. Here we go, dude. Ria, I trust thy time at Miral Agronomics did. Bear fruit. Pun intended, huh? Our own efforts too were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guests' relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them and us for our first fortnight. You wanna play Fortnite? Alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Charlian Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every Loporrit there, should further questions within my power to answer. Alright. Not gonna lie, I kinda feel like playing Fortnite. Growing weight. What's up, dude? I kinda feel like playing Fortnite for a little bit. I used to do that a lot. Let's see, what's up, Growing Way? Are we gonna have voices? Finally? No. Sigh. Sada. Yes, Ria, that was indeed me. Oh, she actually said sigh. Verbalizing a sigh to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? No. Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data from my theories at Logisticon Alpha. That's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that? Yeah. You should see the forest of the first one. Was purple. Yeah, that was dope. Right outside the Crystarium. Gasp, I say. With a star so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard yet achieving so little. That is one word I cannot pronounce for the fucking life of me. Ridiculous. It is so hard to pronounce that for me. I don't know why. I don't know why I spent so many years in Mexico that I hard pronounce my R's, and it's hard to not do so. Not at all. Their works are no less worthy of their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Oh. Hey, Daddy Tancred. What's up, dude? Tancred. Oh me, oh my. What's up, baby? How didst thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here, despite news of the coming end. We have the forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death. And we can hardly tell them there is no cause for concern. Perhaps not. Though aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure that I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. Oh. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone mopping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with him? Oh? 'Tis a good place as any. Come. This dude wants us to come every fucking sentence that he said. Dude, I just woke up. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck is happening. Tancred! You'd better go with them. I don't think URIANGER misjudges them, but Growing Way does look like he could use some emotional support. I still have work to complete elsewhere. I trust that I won't return to find any Loporrits in tears. Baby. I have some buddies that want to help you. Oh? Can I help you? It is you who could help me. Who will help me? Is my anxiety truly so obvious? A burden shared is a burden embraced. East. Pray tell us of thy troubles. Uh-oh. Those little fellows do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship, that it's the sum of decades of Charlian ingenuity, that is built with purely elegant technology, is all true. But I know that none of that's a guarantee. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown in it in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage. But even so, if it fails us, then what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the ether burner descent was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus Oh, I'm not sure about that, but well, maybe you could tell me if there's any aspects of the ship's design that you're especially worried about. Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks, for one. I've devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell, to regulate environment. But what if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we've left the star? Gravitation. Maybe I can be of help after all. Up there is not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply, and if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos, rather than separate places. Oh. I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Yet, if Tancred's tale to be true, still others would benefit from insight born from experience. Might I prevail upon the Loporrits to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is nothing we like more than to ease the hearts of the people of FFXIV and learn more about them while we are at it. Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Ria, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succor. Pray seek thee out the distressed and the apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await thee here. Them here. I fucking hate you sometimes, URIANGER. Why do you have to talk like that? Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Loporrit and every Loporrit in their place. Pew 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 pew. So what do we need? 8? 8? Fuck. Did I just say this woman is this woman is doing better than you are? What did that mean? Oh my god. Oh, holy shit. Let's go. This is gonna be the last one. Excuse me, sir, are you the last one? Let's go. URIANGER. Behold, Ria, through thine efforts, word has spread throughout Labyrinthos, verily to a far greater number than we anticipated. Living Way doth gather more Loporrits as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skill, that new bonds of friendship might be forged. Should greater matters require not thine attentions, watch over them, I prithee. No. No. No more Loporrits. Get them away from me. They're too cute.
So much in forever.
Finally, some voices. Let's go.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
Who wouldn't, dude?
Twould behoove you to consult with Sleeping Way. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your URIANGER. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Etheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge.
Jesus Christ.
When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that were it not for URIANGER and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
Mm-hmm.
What would they think if they could see URIANGER now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt.
True.
Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget...
Moon Breather. Oh my god, I just got chills. Just saying her name. Holy.
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I am.
Is that one of the Moonbreeder's parents? Or something like
Wilson and
that?
Blovida, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation
Yeah.
magic, and Moonbreeder's parents.
Remember how Urianger didn't want to follow us? Because of he didn't want to meet with them?
It hath been some time. Tis good to see you in good health.
Oh, he doesn't even know what to say.
Likewise, old friend. Blovida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
Oh, I feel so bad.
I'll say, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where. Do you have any idea how worried we were?
Holy shit, that came out of nowhere, dude!
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
Holy fuck. Especially knowing how much he's been suffering all this time.
I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings.
Oh my
Poems
fucking
and
god.
platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
I think this is the first hug we see in this game.
We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me.
Oh my god, bro, this hit me out of fucking nowhere.
But in our hearts, we know. We always know.
Oh my fuck. I thought she was gonna be like a bitch
I
or something.
remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
No. Dude, I'm so
we
fucking
offered a
red.
suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while, arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better.
Oh, fuck.
I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy Our daughter trusted and believed in more than anyone. Grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
He can finally let it out.
I think I can feel her too. The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
Ah, fucking game. That hit me like a fucking truck, dude. Out of nowhere. Whew.
This moon breeder. She was important to him, wasn't she?
Yes. Very.
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing.
Very true.
And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
I don't think anything has hit me this hard in this game. It reminded me of so many things that I've been going through. Oh my god. Oh man, I think I need like a minute. It's like calm down. Oh my god, okay man. Let's continue. Yeah, this shit fucking broke me. Oh goodness. We can raise a glass to breather. Oh fuck man. The classical Rogadan language isn't so different from Eorzean. Did you ever wonder why we named our daughter Moon's Bride? When I first held her, the moon was shining silver and full. The whole world seemed aglow. I knew it had chosen her. That she would be a beacon of that self-same light. Of course, we later hear our fair share of jokes about how we ought to have gone with Sun instead, but how bright and stubborn she was. But fiery as my moon breeder was, she was always kind and gentle. Oh, you must be one of the Scions, correct? Thank you for caring for my daughter. The time she spent with you was all too short, but I know she was proud to have you as comrades. When we were in years too, I am sure, and I certainly feel better for knowing he has good friends to look after him. See that he comes home from time to time, will you? Urianger, you fucking broke me, bro. Be assured that I am fine. I am. Full glad to see them. After so very long, gladder still that it was in your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. Dude, I can't see myself fucking crying when I'm gonna edit this video. Oh, dude. Hither and yarns. Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loporrits. Not disposed to rest on the laurel. Oh my god, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so shall I remain to aid them as need be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Alice. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the westgate. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she likes to scorn. Not to mention that, much to my misfortune, I think I can think of several other things that I ought to be doing. Until later. Oh my god, bro. I can't even talk. Fucking Urianger. I love Urianger's character so much. As much as I despise how he talks. Ever since we had that chat on the moon, I have like a new appreciation for him. What's up, baby? What are you doing here? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks. Are you sure? Yes. Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Loporrits. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be so rough on them. Alfino should be waiting for us when we arrived. I'll see you there. Deliver the crates of samples to Alfino. You will have 3 minutes to complete the task. Should you fail, return to the starting location and begin anew. Oh, goodness gracious. Master Alfino. Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You can put them... Oh, that's it? Holy shit, and they give us 3 minutes? 3 minutes? It's like a lot of time. You have my gratitude, but how did you come to be... How come... Wait, fuck. Then I suppose I have tankers to tank as well. Yes, you do. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing the boxes here, so was I. It turns out that this is a base of operations of sorts. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. Oh. That should be everything. You carried all of that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh, hush. They're lighter than they look, and not everyone has your delicate arms. Ooh. I suppose we should let someone know that we finished. Dale Paladin is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance. I mean, but I'm not gonna get anything, right? So this doesn't really matter. Woo! Bum 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 bum. Theo Paladin, what's up? Gods, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you? We brought samples from Charlie and Hamlet. Series 110? The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I had expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You are Faustino's child, are you not? Yes. Alfino and Alice, at your service. You're well acquainted with my father? Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studio. I remember when you were, hi. What the fuck does that mean? Waddling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've last met. Tis good to see you again. Wielding your father's yes, no less. You knew our parents when they were young. What were they like? Pray spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that in exchange for the sorts of stories our parents would never willingly divulge. Of course. Very well then. There happen to be 3 sets of documents in need for delivery. How about you each take one? Hi. Hi. Wait right here. Where's mine? You will find a foreign representative waiting to collect these near the south. Oh, shit, now I'm going south? Nice. Nah. Oh, fuck. Hello, mate. Are you not one of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the ether burner. Shut up and here's the paper. Theopoldin's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hand at last. As for your other task, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you Scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Charlian has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of truth. What? Okay, second quest is done. Quick and efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment. And here they are. We return, now with a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note. You both have my thanks and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes, and that is quite enough of that. Thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we asked to hear. True. Of course. I've known your father for so long. I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Levier name garners such respect in Charlian is your family's storied history. You two can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Ninkenfrip's hope, a lineage few can claim. I never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it was traditionally being a point of pride. That's why Ninkenfrip's pronouncement renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, Archon Louisoix looked not to Ninkenfrip's words, but his deeds. He asserted, in defiance of his peers, that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Master Louisoix. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy and the fall of civilizations that led to him to conclude that to issue conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. You remember his words well. Indeed, Archon Louisoix lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Charlian or no. That we know well. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fortunal could not reconcile Louisoix's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortunal agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. God's father. Yes, on one hand he had his father, Louisoix, doing the complete opposite that he believed in, but he still admired him for doing so. That must be fucking rough. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Yes. God's no fortunate a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet, even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable he was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since he was first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other side of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say, thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need a forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to the proper places. I have a feeling we're gonna have a scene with these two and the father, and I'm gonna cry my fucking eyes out. Hell, you three. Oh? Ah, cat! What's up, Graha? Graha! Surely Kokol hasn't driven you out of the forge already. For better or for worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands. Here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alice and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you, Ria? I mean, if I have to... Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Let's go, cat. Much as I'd like to press Steel Paladin for more revealing tidbits, we should be getting back to our test. No! Tis strange to hear father spoken of in such a way, but I suppose we should find your view of me no less true. So, cat. In the event that our, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky and into my lap, Master Kokol wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to anvil at a moment's notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames of Kokol's forge to burn hotter. He sent me to increase the amount of ether being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire is about the key. The adjustment will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. This is where we part then. We'll see you in Charlie and Hamlet. Okay. Wait, is this gonna be a dungeon? This way then. Is this gonna be a dungeon? It gives me like the vibes when we went into Matoya's dungeon thingy in Shadow Mirrors. This is gonna be a weird place for a dungeon though. The reactor is housed within the facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire ether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water aspected ether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals. Can I ask that you put down any that draw too near? Okay, so it is not a dungeon. Wait here, if you would. Woo. 'Cause, 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 'cause Did everything go smoothly out here? Yes, sir. I killed a bunch of monsters. I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water eaters. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forage. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Uh-oh. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I share with everyone, yet you, and only you, have been to Elpis. Oh God. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Alag, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Alagans' efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. What are you thinking, Graha? One of those who would push further, expand Alag's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist Amon. Yes. Yes, remember that Amon is Hermes? I believe he had his own reasons. There is no evidence to suggest that he retained his memories of his former life. He only joined the Asians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea of such fervor? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls like mine have a personality, so to speak, a natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Alag that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Sande. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed to benefit beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Sande's return, Amon provided those languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have had not Sande been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived. He could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that... Okay. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope in the distant stars. Such is my theory anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. The motives are of no moment. And yet, to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Kokol is getting on? Oh, I thought something was gonna happen. What's up, Graha? I did thoroughly believe Kokol on refined elemental history. Oh, brief. I only volunteered to go to the reactor because I was finished. Hopefully that dispels any misapprehensions that I was kicked out of the rally. Kokol Dankol. I can feel those flames ablazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha. But there's not much left for you to do. Unless you can conjure up that refined adamantite any faster. Okay, so this is gonna be the final quest for this video. Because the next one is definitely the dungeon. I do trust you to deliver on your promise. I do. Only, I hate waiting. I hate that adamantite, and I want it now. We share your impatience. I assure you. Is there truly nothing else we can assist with in the meantime? I wish. This sitting about's unbearable. Pity the foreign frowns on recreational explosions. Well, so long as they can't prove it was premeditated, get you gone. I have mistakes to make. In that case, I suppose I should go and return the key to the reactor. I have one more look to make sure that nothing has gone wrong. I'm certain there are better uses for your time, however. I will join you in Charlie Hamlet and on. Okay. If you wait here, your companions are bound to turn up sooner or later. Await your companions? I mean, what else am I gonna do? Da, 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 ba, ba. Oh god, here we go. Are we gonna have voice? I think so.
All set, I take it?
Oh, my love. Yes.
We finished what we could. Delivered supplies, tracked down escaped animals. Trivial tasks as they may be.
Thank you, Stinky.
That's enough, don't you think? If there was anything more important still undone, that would be a problem in itself.
The vessel is essentially ready for departure. All that remains is to load the final batch of supplies and see everyone on board.
And
Once
for us to
we've
cry.
readied the ether burner, that is.
Ah, had a feeling we might find you all here.
Our consultations with the Loporrits, too, have run their course. Pleased I am to say that our researchers' concerns have for the most part been allayed, though some insist on making adjustments to the very end. For their part, Livingway and her peers have graciously offered to stay and keep the people company, lest any lingering queries go unanswered.
All that remains is to wait for the refined adamantite.
Yeah, that's gonna be the worst.
Alphino, are you there? It's me, Cryo.
What's up, Cryo?
Your special delivery has arrived. Round up everyone and come to the harbor at once.
Ooh, it's finally here, baby.
Speak of the devil. Let us go at once.
Who was that person that Cryo said that she was gonna meet and that we were not gonna believe who it was? I had completely forgotten about that.
Forgive the intrusion, Master Fortuner. I bring urgent news.
What's up, dude?
A great commotion has broken out in Scholar's Harbor. Your presence is requested with all speed.
Nani Kore? It's all the homies from all over the world. What you mean?
Now, where might this delivery be?
This is gonna hype me up so much.
Oh.
Oh, wait, what? Ooh, baby! Do you need any more? Let's go! Wait, what is that? Is that the...
I'm sure it's very important, but we cannot accept these without the proper permits.
Shut the fuck up.
By the 12.
Is that the Prima Vista?
These can't all be.
Was that the Prima Vista? Oh, let's go! Oh, it's the guy from the Diabolos.
Bleeding hellfire.
Oh my
They're
god.
bringing them by sea and by air. All these
That's
folks in
fucking
these crates.
cool.
And more on the way.
It's a
Got your
card
man
and
tight
this other
right
fucker.
here. A bigger haul than any of these sorry bastards brought, and that's no lie.
Yes, because you were charged with seeing
Oh,
the
here we
shipments from
fucking go
Britannia and
again.
Uldar here, along with your own. Give credit where credit is due.
Sounds like the sorry whinging of a sore loser. An hypocrite to boot. Ain't no way a scrawny whelp like you took a dozen steps inside a Dalamon shard.
I'll have you know I went all the way to the entrance. Furthermore, 'twas my contacts that enabled us to enlist the cooperation of the Sky Pirates.
Jesus.
Left you outside so you wouldn't get anyone killed, did they? Well then, credit where credit's due, you did a right fine job sitting on your ass.
Oh my god.
Make me.
I will not stoop to your level.
My,
Hey,
what a
let's
grand
go.
welcome party. Hancock and Saraban.
Yes. The homie sort of
We come
one.
bearing relics both sacred and elegant, as well as a few other gifts that may be of help, to be presented with best wishes from the Eastern Alliance.
I'm still shocked. Is that the Prima Vista? It is, right? It has to be.
I myself have come with a sacred relic of Rayson Temple. 'Twas passing fortunate that Senri's dango craving brought us to Kugane. We arrived precisely as Hancock was making his arrangements.
Let's go.
Upon learning of your need, we made haste back to Hell's Lid, with our dango, never fear, and consulted with the other auspices. All consented to the lending of Tenzin's legendary Phoenix Blade for this noble cause.
Oh, that is so dope. That is so dope.
Suzaku and Seiryu were nevertheless worried that it might be lost in transit, however, and insisted upon accompanying me to Onokoro, where I had intended to entrust it to our Confederate allies. I thought instead to give it over to Hancock when we chanced to cross paths yet again. But alas, Seiryu remained ill at ease and ordered me see the blade into your hands personally or die trying.
We did, of course, need quite the impressive vessel to get it all here in time.
Hey, let's go, bro.
Fortunately, our majestic associates have been more than helpful. 'Tis an honor to join the Warrior of Light on another adventure, they tell me.
With Ramza. That was so amazing, dude. That Alliance raid was
That is
incredible.
all wonderful to hear, but what of the extraordinary cost? I shudder to think of the ransom we must pay for such a bounty.
Fret not for your coin purse, young Alphino.
Loporrits gonna pay for it?
Lord Loporrito looks ever towards the profits of the future, and thus the East Aldenard Trading Company went to some lengths to reduce the financial liability.
Let's go.
And since the Scions funded the entire venture, not a gill need be rendered up in compensation. Everything is already yours.
Oh, fuck yes.
We funded the venture.
When?
Don't let the name fool you. This cornkeeper knows a thing or two about spending.
I forgot about the Taru, dude. You fucker. I
When
love
it comes
you.
to capital investiture, a sprinkling of gil here and there will not do. You need enough savings to make waves when it really counts, which is why frugality is paramount.
Oh my god, Tataru.
We also had the benefit of a generous patron. Generous being rather an understatement.
I love Tataru so much, dude.
She has supported us from the shadows since the very founding of the Scions.
The
We
twins'
even had
mom.
coffers to fill.
Even him is like,
and
fuck.
millions.
That's why we had no money.
I remain, of course, an entirely neutral party. I simply thought our family's coffers were needlessly full.
Oh, you are amazing.
We can hardly take them with us on your teeny tiny toy boat, now can we? And would be ashamed to leave all that hard-earned wealth unspent.
You are amazing.
Waste not.
What the fuck was that? Oh my goodness.
However did you manage so much in so short a time, though? We expected word to reach only a fraction of our allies.
Did I not tell you I have my ways?
Oh, it's this dude! Aaronville! I forgot his name. Yeah, Aaronville.
I received a letter from Cryo after we parted ways in Labyrinthos. She explained what the Scions were trying to accomplish, and why you might soon require the services of the Gleaners, spread across the world as we are.
Oh, that is so amazing.
I pray you do not interpret this as a betrayal of Charlie. I accept that the Forum's aim in pushing us to our limits was to preserve what knowledge we have, and I bear you no ill will for it. Yet, in collecting that knowledge, what I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know.
What a way to introduce the male bunnies,
to
dude.
help the Scions, to combat the obliteration of those countless undiscovered wonders. I held no illusions that they would be less demanding taskmasters. Though, rest assured, if I had, I would have been sorely disappointed.
I like Aaronville a lot.
To make a long story short, the whole of the guild ship cooperated to ensure your call was heard far and wide.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Let's go. Oh, there they are.
What's this?
I was wondering where Alpha was gonna be. My boy Sid and Nero.
And why didn't you mention it sooner? The one time you don't beg my aid, your problem's a bloody ship that can fly to the moon.
True. Biggs and Wedge.
You brought the team.
Of course he did.
Of course. Garland Ironworks' finest. You need only point us towards my new favorite ship.
Oh my god, bro. This is so
I nearly
good.
forgot. We stopped by Whirlit before coming here and picked up a package from Gaius.
Ah.
He's still of the mind that actions make for better penance than words, contrite or otherwise, so we offer none of the latter.
My boy.
What he sent is an Allagan relic Valens used in his weapons experiments. Has a fair bit of refined adamantite in it too.
Oh, that quest lane broke me.
Suspect, we've also brought adamantite for Mordona's Dalamud shard.
Hoary Boulder. These guys, man.
I admit to some consternation upon first receiving Kral's message. So few Scions remain at the Rising Stones now. Far too few for such an expedition.
Who would have thought that these guys would stick with us until the very end?
Reinforcements. Idleshire's treasure hunters, not least among them.
Fascinating as all this is, I fail to see how it explains your presence here. It is worth time not
I didn't
more
even see
pressing
him.
concerns.
Fucking Vitra. He wants to be with us.
We do. Yet averting the final days would be the most expedient solution. That, and I am indebted to you.
Aww.
Though they chose to take their leave of Thavnair, those you saved in Galimund remain my people. My gratitude is beyond words. 'Tis appropriate that I aid you in kind. If in the doing we bring salvation to others of this star, so much the better.
Oh, this is so good, man.
You will recall that I spoke of my father, Midgard Summer, and his journey across the great expanse.
Yes.
As he traveled betwixt the stars, his resplendent scales drank of the ether in those nigh empty surrounds, and imparted to him the strength to persevere. Thinking they might further your cause, I called out to my kin for consent.
Oh?
Ashdaya's answer was silence, as ever. Tiamat and Hrisvelgre, however, responded favorably to the suggestion.
Yes, they did.
My sire, too, stirred from his slumber long enough to speak and say, "Very well. Thus have I brought you his own worm scales. Fit them to your purpose, and seek a worthier fate for us all."
Oh, no shot.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone else so familiar with the unique properties of dragon scales. So I invited myself along.
Awesome. Let's go.
Bugger me, this is so unbelievable. I've gone right back round to believing it again. Forget a 6% gain in efficiency. With all these goodies, we could get 7, no, 10, no, 14 bleeding percent.
Oh, yes. And with Sid here,
Think
fuck
about
yeah.
how far we could go. What we could do with that much power. What we could blow up.
This fucker.
If Kokol is duly convinced, then it must be true. In which case, the Scion's end of the bargain has been fulfilled. Would you not agree?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yes, Father?
I know not what you seek of Hydaelyn, nor for what purpose you would take command of our ship. Yet this much is certain. To do so will be to dictate the fate of this star and the lives upon it. The lives of each and every creature, in their magnitude and their fragility. Do you understand? And are you prepared?
They are more than prepared.
We have seen and we have felt how much each life shapes this world. And so we are determined to abandon none. We understand what is at stake, and we are prepared to bear this burden.
Then I will bear it with you. I beg you, share your struggles with me, as family.
He finally broke down.
You grasped my fingers with such tiny hands the day you were born. I thought my heart might burst. It was love and happiness beyond expression. Overwhelming, and a conviction so powerful that I trembled with something close to rage. I had heard the final days foretold. I swore to myself then and there that I would not let them steal your futures. The great exodus would succeed, must succeed. No sacrifice or sin was worse than the alternative. If anything gave me pause, 'twas mine own father. The Archon Louisois openly decried Charlian's policies, a perspective which I regarded with increasing disdain as I grew older. Yet even as part of me thought him a fool, perhaps I also hoped that he, of all people, would devise a brilliant means to save my children. A naive hope, but stubborn enough that I could never bring myself to keep you apart. No, that was his doing, when he perished at Cartano. As we pulled that twisted slab of Dalamud from the sea, I remembered the warmth of your newborn touch. Chastened, I vowed never again to suffer any interference in my mission to protect you. No matter that you yourselves wished otherwise. Detest me, fight me tooth and nail, I would suffer it, and more, and be satisfied so long as I could force you onto the ship. I was wrong. You two have grown so much stronger and so much wiser than I dared dream. You have earned the right to walk your own path, and already begun to do so.
Good. Because there are things we care about, and people we love, and none of them is replaceable. Not a one.
It cannot have been an easy journey for you to have come so far.
We shall be glad to acquaint you with the finer details someday, once this danger has passed. All that we have seen and heard, that we have felt and learned in our travels. Ours is not a kind world, but it is beautiful. Always.
Oh no. Are you quite sure that's wise? After all, someone turns pale and flees the room when he sees so much as an envelope containing word of your adventures. Whatever will happen if he learns what you were really up to?
Millions.
Oh, fuck me, dude.
Though I have wronged my children most gravely, I owe you an apology as well. I assumed that it was the Scion's influence that made them so keen to charge headlong into danger. Yours, in particular.
Me?
I see now
Excuse me.
said influence instead brought them together with the many fine people gathered here today. In which case, I hope you continue to guide them.
If we've finished loitering about the harbour, might I suggest we put our plans into motion? People are beginning to look confused.
Perhaps you can spare a few words ere they resume the tedious lugging of cargo. You've no small number of friends and admirers here, after all.
Let's go. Hello?
Your assistance is appreciated. Now, in an orderly fashion, if you please.
Oh my god, this is so fucking good. Oh, I cried twice. I cried twice in this video already. Holy shit. Okay, I talked to every scion. We finally managed to clear the harbor, which means the rest is in the engineer's capable hands. Meanwhile, Father has issued to us an invitation. As was agreed, he will reveal the means by which Hydaelyn may be contacted. We are to meet him at Aporia when we are ready. Given the vital knowledge she holds, I suggest we leave without delay. It transpires, however, that the forum's method for speaking with her is not without risks. I am curious to hear what those might entail, but regardless, be warned. Most of those who arrived with the Adamantine have offered to say and see to any remaining tasks that need doing. The forum has already asked for my assistance in overseeing the process, so you needn't worry about a thing. Thank you, Tataru. We're off to Aporia then. There are so many of us now. Tataru, I don't want any of you getting hurt, but I do hope you'll bring as much information out of Hydaelyn as you can. For all we know, this is the one and only opportunity we get. True. Oh my god. I don't think my heart can handle this anymore, bro. How long is this quest gonna be? I have already shown the others inside. You will want to speak with Clarian. She has a Oh, we're going inside like this, the middle? Oh, let's go. Fortunate. From here we proceed to the heart of Loporrits and its most closely guarded secret, Talmazine. It marks the beginning and end of our efforts, whence we delve to seek audience with the star, and whence we will embark on a journey to the heavens. This way, if you please. Uh-oh. 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 This is where he was, no? Where we saw Farshino and... Oh, never mind. Oh, this is the Ark? No shot, bro. Oh, it looks so dope. I haven't even seen it completely, but it still looks... Oh my god, it looks amazing. Let's go. I bid you welcome to Talmazine. Direct your attention towards its center to behold the Ark over which we have long labored. As you can see, it was designed as a medium-sized craft. The better, to reduce fuel consumption. Miniaturizing magics have been applied to its interior to ensure that the thrust-to-weight ratio does not place too great a limitation on its freight capacity. I can't even talk, dude. The ether burner, as you know, has been removed for further modification, but we shall reattach it soon. I have received word from Kokol, I think they call him, and several of your allies working on it with an intense fervor. They are sure to see it done. 'Twas by their expertise that many a prior disaster was averted. If anything, I fear they will not afford us much time for speaking with Hydaelyn ere they finish. Point taken. Let us move on. I must warn you again, however, that even with the benefit of our device, to treat with her is not a simple feat. Okay. Okay, so this is it. This is it, guys. This is the end of the video. I have done what I can to impress upon you the gravity of what lies ahead. Are you prepared? Whew. Alrighty, guys. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'm not gonna lie. After having the quest with the Loporrits, I was like, what the fuck is happening? And people were talking about, people in the comments have said that I have seen nothing yet, right after the events of Elpis. And I gotta say, for some reason, I know the cutscenes that have played, like the one with Farshinal and Alfino and Alice, and the one with Urianger and Moonbreather's parents. I know that's not gonna affect everybody like the same way, but my god, bro, they hit me like a fucking truck, like so bad. Next episode we're gonna have the dungeon. I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming it's gonna be the one we saw in the trailer, right? Where we were like running through Crystal, because otherwise I don't even know where that place is. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing from Monday. It was pretty nice. But yeah, drop a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord. Link is in the description. TikTok. What's the other thing? Twitter at Venheim. Links to everything are in the description. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time with a video of Final Fantasy XIV. Peace out.